Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Noobs to Pros. I'm AJ, and today what we're going to be doing is looking at this game I had in my AMX 50B and sort of like analyzing the advantages and disadvantages of this tank, and you know how certain decisions were made which definitely affected the outcome of the battle in the end. So I look at the team composition. I know I'm one of their better players. I'm one of our better players along with the bad chat. So I need to be very impactful in this game, and probably will have to do most of the damage on our team. Now the team initially divides somewhat equally, though having like two mediums in your team definitely doesn't help. 3 tier 10 mediums versus heavy and team 110 certainly is a bit off as far as like hit points are concerned. So we need to take that into account when we are actually engaging some of the enemies. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the long way around into the center. Knowing the speed of this tank and knowing what kind of tanks they have, I know the tank that I probably would beat me there is probably the M48, and if he's interested in doing that. If he's not, then I'll probably get there without much of a fight. Over here the M48 actually gets spotted in the middle, and so what I do is I proceed to going where I'm going, and that is into the middle. Now the Object 140 to his surprise, or to his chagrin, spots the bad chat right in front of him. I think what he thought was with the I-7 pushing the Leopard 1 in the middle, he would have easy shots on the Leopard and he would not have to worry about himself as much. Now the Object 140 is by himself, and this is what this tank excels at, taking out lone tanks who are by themselves and probably don't have backup. So I unload my entire clip into him, taking him out, while at the same time the IS-7 takes out our Leopard, and right now the scores are pretty even, 1-1. So I kind of like back off because I know I'm reloading, and since the other thing that the IS-7 is also by himself, or nothing else has been supporting him up to this point, I tell the bad chat that I am actually gonna go in to this IS-7 and I'm gonna try to take him out, because there's no point in letting him just sit there and do more damage. If he's by himself, the best thing you can do is just take him out. I know I would have taken a shot for it anyways, and which I'm really comfortable in doing. And the bad chat and I, between us, we have enough DPM to sort of like, not DPM, sorry, the burst damage to take him out rather easily. I decide to reload again, and I see that the north is starting to fall slowly and steadily. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to figure out a way to head there and help them out. By the time I get there, unfortunately the last of the tanks are going to be taken out, and at this point I wasn't so sure that I wanted to go all in. The bad chat in the M48 go the more direct route, I would say, or the indirect route, trying to get up behind them and trying to take some shots at them, while what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be watching this flank, making sure they're not going to be coming this way. Now, the problem is that the T110E4 and Tortoise, between them, have very high damage potential. The T110E4 will do a lot of damage in a single shot, and the Tortoise has good TPM, so he can burst you down relatively quickly. So I was not so keen in taking them on. Over here, their IS-4 and the M48 run into our bad chat and the M48, and so I decide, that this is a good time, regardless of whether the Tortoise and the T110E4 are coming, to go there and help them take out this IS-4 as quickly as we can. So the bad chat fires, backs off. I know he's trying to do his thing. He takes a shot from the IS-4. I know I have some time, so like unload my clip. Over here I decide to go to his frontal plate, but then he starts angling and I really don't have a shot. Then I should put the rest of my shots into his lower plate. Luckily for me, he bounces and the last of the shells takes him out. I leave the M48 to deal with the other M48 because he's really low on health, and then I decide that I'm gonna push with the bad chat and try to figure out where their Tortoise and the Team 110E4 have gone. Now, as we're heading like towards the mid, trying to figure out where these two TDs are, luckily for us, the M48, as he starts proceeding further to sort of like spot the T124 and the Tortoise, you know, one of us will eventually flank the tanks in the middle. The Bat Chat thinks that the Tortoise and the T124 have come over the bridge. By now, it was apparent to me they were not coming this way, or else they would have crossed the bridge by now, or I would have spotted them here. And precisely as I thought, they had gone up the other way, in pursuit of like the M48 and the Bat Chat, where they were lost spotted. Instead, what winds up happening is we come behind them, and this is the ideal situation for us, in which like the Tortoise and the T124 are both in a very narrow alleyway, in which both of their guns could not be as effective as you know, as they could have. I'm not so keen on taking a shot from the Tortoise if I don't need to, so I'm trying to come out here and see if I can actually, you know, just take him out without actually taking a shot. Luckily for me, you know, the Tortoise was more interested in taking out the Bat Chat. Here I see the T124 fire, put one shot in his lower plate, you know, and then his giant weak spot just shows above the other tanks, and I've effectively taken him out of the game. Now what I am thinking of doing is going to support south. Now here's the tricky part, is that knowing where the enemy is. I thought, seeing as, you know, the level of players they are, they would be actually starting to come to our cap. Some things you have to keep in mind is like, you know, you have to realize like some generalizations will help you in the game. For example, most decent players will try to flank you, most average players will just try to come at you head on, and I thought since they were not great players, they would probably decide to come at me fairly head on and not actually try to go around. So over here I decided to come into the middle again, see if I have you know, good shots if they do decide to come up the middle. And for this very same reason, I tell the M48 to go cap, you know, to lure him out, and you know, for possibly for us to sort of like get the upper hand. Unfortunately for him, the waffle had actually gone back and was waiting on cap, which to me is an iffy decision. You know, I think he was playing more of like, if we make mistakes we will win, if, you know, if not, then we will. You know, he was banking on us, our team, to make mistakes rather than actually trying to win the game, which is not necessarily how you should play the tanks, you know, most of the time. Over here I decided to take 2 shots at the Yak Tiger. Unfortunately for me, my gun decides not to behave, and you know, I don't connect any of the shots. So the Bat Chat is here taking the lead, and I'm right behind him reloading. I know by the time I get there I would be approximately reloaded. The Bat Chat tries to close the distance. Unfortunately or fortunately for him, the Yak Tiger just tracks him when he fires, and here the Yak Tiger over angles, and just the sheer burst damage between the two of us is enough to take him out without actually having to him to reload. So now I'm assuming that they're gonna come down south again. Luckily for me, my giant turret spots the T62A, and the RD misses me because I turned around at the last moment. The Bat Chat starts to reload. I know this is a good opportunity to take out the T62A because he's probably the faster tank, and I'm guessing he just overextended without, you know, the rest of the team. I come around, I put 1 shot, you know, I put the 2nd shot in, and the 3rd shot, you know, takes him out of the game, and now we are down to 3 versus 2, and it looks much more of a fair game than it did a second earlier. So what I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna go down the K line, because that's, I'm assuming they're gonna come down that way, and we're just gonna see what happens from that point onwards. I tell the Bat Chat, you know, sort of like in chat, to go low and then come high, you know, in case they're going low he would spot them. And so like, and that was the thinking, but fortunately or unfortunately for us, the Bat Chat decides he's gonna come with me over here, which yeah, I'm totally okay with, you know. Better for us to stay together and share hit points than one of us to go one way and, you know, get killed and, you know, leave the other guy to sort of like carry the team. Over here, you know, I get lucky in the fact that the bad chat kind of like spots the Waffle E100. I know I have shots on him. I fire one, 2. He fires 1 and he fires 2. Luckily for me, both of them bounce. I have no idea how. I was very lucky. I could have easily died, but seeing the waffle in my face, I could not have actually backed away. That would have just disturbed my shots. And I might have gotten killed at that point anyways without doing damage. The waffle Panzer IV, I'm sure, is in the middle because I just got spotted by something else in the middle, and so I'm assuming he's in the middle at this point. I know the 3805 is just staring in my direction, and I let the bad chat take him out. Now I know that there's only a Waffle Panzer IV left on the enemy team. Excuse me. And I pinged to the bad chat that he's in the middle somewhere, and surely enough he gets spotted. And I tell the bad chat I'm gonna go in and I'm not gonna actually wait, so as to keep him off balance and not let him dictate the battle. And so he fires at the bad chat. I don't believe he connected, or maybe he did, I can't tell, but between us we come around and take him out. Hopefully you enjoyed this game. Hopefully this was a good showcase of how to play autoloaders and why they're so deadly towards late game and so highly valued. Do leave a comment, rate and subscribe if you like, and hopefully I'll see you on the next episode of Noobs to Pros.